Hey guys, Coach Justin here and be talking to you about your Monday workout. This one starts off by building up to a 1 rep conventional deadlift off of 3-inch mats. We're going to have 20 minutes to do that. Then we're going to go into our successory block. It's going to be 5 minutes. We're going to be doing 2 to 3 sets of max rep GHRs. And then we're going to superset that with 20 GHD face down side to sides with the heaviest dumbbell possible. After that, we're going to go into our finisher, which is going to be 100 banded hamstring curls. We're going to have 3 minutes for that for a total working time of 28 minutes. Tight timeline, I would definitely be setting the clocks here and pushing your athletes through this. Now, starting off with that 1 rep conventional deadlift off the 3-inch mats here. I would take your athletes through, prime them up like we always do for those deadlifts. Creating patterns is a good thing when we're going through these drills, so that athletes kind of know what to expect. Their bodies can be prepared. We don't always have to get super creative here with our drilling when it comes down to our big lifts. We just need to make sure that our athletes are getting into the right positions. If you're constantly changing up your drills for getting athletes into position, then they're never going to get into the habit of getting into the right position. So sometimes creating a little consistency is a good thing. Let's start off with those demo deadlifts starting above the knee and then having the athletes drive through for that violent lockout. Then we go to that mid shin pull, pulling from the mid shin up to the knee. We're going to go through that a few times. You can hold your athletes off at that starting position, and once they pull up to the knee, both in those static positions, keep them there. Make the adjustments as necessary. Remember, we want to feed the hamstrings for this one. Then after we do that, we'll go through a few full reps of the deadlift. Then we can add a little weight, go through a few full reps of the deadlift, and then after that, we can go ahead and roll the plates or roll that bar onto the mats there. Now, because it's going to take a little bit of time to set up the mats, I would definitely have those positioned ahead of time. I say mats. If you don't have the mats, you can obviously use a 45-pound bumper plate to pull from. Just make sure that when your athletes are pulling from that they set it back down. But if you have the mats, let's definitely pull from the mats today because it's going to be safer for your athletes. It creates a nice, stable platform. There's no divots like in the 45-pound plates. Much better option there. And if your athletes need to drop the weight, they can drop it onto those mats without it. All we simply did was take some old stall mats, cut them up, stack them up in the corner of our room. Some of them we store underneath of our GHDs, kind of gets it out of the way. It's dead space in there, anyways. That's a little trick we used, but if you have the additional stall mats, go ahead, chop those things up, get them ready. It's going to be a great tool. Even if you only have a couple to use, you can still cut them up and stick them on top of a bumper plate, and that'll create a nice stable platform, and it won't ruin your bumpers there. For the for the conventional deadlift, pulling off of those mats or off that 3-inch surface there, we need to make sure that our athletes are getting set up in that proper position, that they're keeping that bar as close as possible to their body, and they're driving through the heels. Now, your athletes should be able to get more weight than they typically do in this position because we're getting that 3-inch lift. The hardest part of the deadlift for a lot of people is getting it off the ground. So we've already kind of elevated it, broken it there a little bit. So we should be expecting some big gains here today. We haven't tested this version. We've done a sumo version of this in the past, but your athletes don't have a record, so anything they put down today is going to be a baseline. Let's leave a little in the tank if we can. We definitely never want our athletes training to failure here. Then we're going to go into our accessories. It's going to be those max rep GHRs. For the GHRs, let's have your athletes get positioned with their knees on the back of the pad, their feet firmly planted inside of the GHD, and then they're going to extend out to that full position there with at a 45 with their legs fully extended, excuse me, and pause right there briefly before coming back up. Now they should only be moving at the knee. They shouldn't be uh, twisting or arching at the waist. Let's make sure that they're only bending at the knee. If they need to, if they can't do at least 8 reps, if they need to, they can go ahead and get those reverse bands, hook a band on the back of that, and then they can use that for that assistance there. Let's not rely on the bands too much. Let's only use the band as much as we need it. The further you choke up on that band, the easier it's going to be. The less you choke up on that band, the harder it becomes. So let's just get the right amount of band tension there. After they hit those max rep GHRs, they're going to immediately go into that Sorensen hold on that GHD there, and they're going to reach down, grab a dumbbell weight if they can. They're going to hold it across their chest in that Zercher-like grip, and then they're going to do their side to sides there. They're going to do 20 side to sides face down with the heaviest dumbbell weight as possible. Now, for those GHRs, if your athletes have no business getting into that position at all, and they can't do it, we can obviously switch that off to some Nordic curls with a reverse band from the pull-up bar. And again, we only need them to go down as far as they can control it. We'll have partner A working that Nordic curl, and then partner B will be holding the feet. You're going to see the Nordic curl later on this week, so let's only do the 8 reps if they opt for that version. We don't want to push for max reps because we're going to be pushing for max reps later on in the week. If they can't do the face down side to sides, they can always go into that Superman shape and they can do Superman side to sides, or they can just do max Supermans or 20 reps of the Supermans there. That would be a good option as well. Then for the banded hamstring curls, we're going to have our athletes lay down in that prone position. They're going to put the band on their heels. They're going to stretch the band out until they take all the slack out. They're going to pause, and then from there, with their legs fully extended, they're going to kick back, trying to kick their butt with their heels, and then they're going to return to that starting position without letting their toes touch the ground. They're going to go through this as fast as possible. We're looking for your athletes to complete those banded hamstring curls in 3 sets or less. That's all we got for you on Monday. Let's get after it, guys.